NLWN-TV presents In the Pits with John Fellens. John is going to rev you up for tonight's racing action. So now, let's head into the pits.
Good evening and welcome to In the Pits. I'm John Fellens, and tonight we're getting ready to bring you WISSOTA Racing Action from the Eagle Valley Speedway in Gem Falls, Wisconsin. Tonight it's the 19th annual Lonnie Lou Memorial by Krug's Towing and Lisa Lou. Coming up tonight, we'll see action in the Street Stocks, the Midwest Modifieds, the Super Stocks, the Pure Stocks, the WISSOTA Modifieds, and we'll wrap things up with the Hornets. Yet to come on In the Pits, we'll take a look at last week's results and see how that sets us up for tonight's action. Then we'll have another edition of Track Talkin' with former driver Ben Zabel, where we talk about probably the most important topic in dirt track racing, driver safety. All of that coming up right after this quick pit stop. You're watching In the Pits on NLWN-TV.
Today I'm going to talk to you about physics. Come on in, girls. Let's go. This is the first rocket to get humans to Mars. Really tall. I'm a rocket structural engineer designing and building parts of the rocket. You are the generation that will be stepping foot on Mars. Do I have a group of astronauts on my hands? Yes. You can become a rocket scientist or whatever else you want to be.
Welcome back to In the Pits. We're getting ready to bring you WISSOTA Racing Action from the Eagle Valley Speedway. Tonight we have the 19th annual Lonnie Lou Memorial by Krug's Towing and Lisa Lou. We're going to see action in 6 classes of stock cars. Last week at the Eagle Valley Speedway, the racers were in action in the River Country Co-op American Heroes Night. The street stock feature saw Mondovi native Danny Richards in car 3R get his 3rd win of the season as he moved up from his 4th place starting position to capture the checkered flag over Medford's Cody Coomer, and 3rd place finisher from New Auburn, Dalton Hazelton. In the Midwest Modified feature, Jay Richardson from Spring Valley, Wisconsin made the trip to the Haas Incorporated victory lane in car R1. Jay started on the inside of the 3rd row and worked his way up to capture the checkered flag over Shane Holupka from Greenwood and Dylan Gadel out of Chippewa Falls. In the Superstock division, Mondovi's Tommy Richards in car 7R came out of the 4th starting position to capture the victory over Terrence Spacek from Phillips and pole sitter Austin Workman from Dallas, Wisconsin. In the Pure Stocks feature race, moving up from his 5th place starting position to gain the checkered flag in car 5R was George Richards from Mondovi. This was Richards' 5th win of the season, and he defeated 2nd place finisher Rob Graybon from Bruce and 3rd place finisher Bob Thompson from Cameron. The WISSOTA Modifieds feature had Gem Falls native Mike Anderson in car 57, returning to the Haas Incorporated victory lane for the 4th time this season. He was able to cross the finish line ahead of Bloomer's Nick Kaler and Bruce, Wisconsin's Matt Lear. Wrapping up last week's action, Jason Hegelson from Strum got his 1st win of the year and a water shower from Brownie in car 59H. Jason moved up from his 6th place starting position to gain the checkered flag. He bested Eau Claire's Derek Crumry and Arkansas, Wisconsin's Roy Cooper. That sets us up for some real battles going into tonight's action. The Hornets see no change in the standing with Derek Crumry following last week's 2nd place finish, extending his lead over Danny Halterman to 148 points. They are followed by rookie driver from Durand, Jocelyn Carruthers, who is currently 256 points off the pace. The Midwest Modifieds are currently led by Shane Holupka, who slightly extended his lead over Derek Haas to a close 28 points. Elk Mountain's Steve Haas moved up to retake 3rd place over Jake Stye. Haas is 157 points back. The WISSOTA Modified see Mike Anderson continuing to lead the way, extending his lead over Mike Knops from Chippewa Falls to 96 points. Moving up to take over 3rd place was Steve Hallquist from Eau Claire, who's 214 points back. The Pure Stock saw very little change, as with Travis Hazelton leading the way, followed by Mondovi's George Richards, who closed the gap to a mere 26 points. Rookie driver Ryan Olson from Ladysmith is keeping the pace at only 143 points off the lead. However, Nick Hazelton from Chippewa Falls is breathing down his neck to challenge for 3rd place. The Street Stocks division is one of our more closely contested divisions. It sees a tight contest between Mondovi's Danny Richards and Medford native Cody Coomer. Last week, Richards slightly extended his lead over Coomer to only 30 points. Sitting comfortably in third place, rookie Cole Richards from Mondovi is 281 points off the pace. Menominee's Tony Faulkner continues to lead the Superstock division. However, Mondovi's Tommy Richards closed the gap to only 95 points. Meanwhile, Prairie Farms' Jason Quarters moved up to recapture third place over Cameron's Kurt Myers. Quarters is 264 points off the pace. The results of tonight's actions could lead to some major changes in some of these division standings. Coming up next on In the Pits, we'll have another episode of Track Talkin' with our former driver, Ben Zabel, as we talk about driver safety, probably the most important topic when it comes to dirt track racing. All of that coming up right after this quick pit stop. You're watching In the Pits on NLWN-TV.
Whether your car is in need of routine maintenance or a repair service, First Choice Mobile Repair's ASE certified mechanics strive for your complete satisfaction. What's more, they make house calls. That's right, they'll come to you. So whether you're in need of a jump start, changing a flat tire, brake services, battery replacement, electrical diagnosis and repair, or maybe your check engine light is on, let First Choice Mobile Repair take care of the problem. They also do small engine repair. Call First Choice Mobile Repair at 715-559-5219. Time now for Track Talkin', where John and Ben talk about some of the details of dirt track racing. And now, Track Talkin'.
Hey folks, we're back here on Track Talkin'. Ben got a little worried about me and strapped me to the chair here. Ben, can you explain what this apparatus on me is?
Yeah, so this is your standard 5-point harness. You got 2 shoulder straps like what you see on top there, and then you've got a waist strap, and then you've got your center strap. And what happens is you have to have a full securement system. And what we're talking about today is a lot more on safety. And this is kind of personal safety as far as the driver goes. And what you're looking at here is if you have to get out of the car in a quick hurry, but you have something that is very well secured. Now, you've got your 2 that go back, and you've got your center straps, or you got your waist strap and your center strap. Now, what you can do is, say the car's on fire and you need to get out in a quick hurry. You grab that strap there, that red tag, and you pull. Now, when that's under tension, see, all that just comes right apart. And you can get out of a car in about 2 seconds if you have to. Now, the other thing that kind of comes in with that safety harness is we have to wear fire suits. We have to wear fire suits, we have to wear our helmets, and this is an example of a fire suit. Now, this is the top part, this is a coat. There's nothing real spectacular about it other than the fact that it's made from Nomex. Now, Nomex is a no-burn, non-flammable material. Non-flammable material. Now, and then the pants, same thing. If you take the bottom side of these, though, we go into the leg, and what there is there's actually a boot inside of here, and your foot goes through that little boot, and then it clamps onto the outside of your shoe. So you have a no-seam system, basically, so that way there's nothing that can tag you on your way out or getting out of that car, because when your car is on fire, you don't want to stay in it. It's just a fact. And then also, we got your standard neck brace. Now this guy, what he does is he just straps on like this, and then the helmet goes on top of it. And the reason why we have these is so that when you get into the event of an accident, there's a lot of G's, there's a lot of force coming into that, a lot of energy. And if you hit the wall really hard, you can cause yourself to get whiplash. Now this helmet sits on top of that. You can't move it very much. And then we also have gloves and shoes too that we have to wear. Gloves and shoes aren't nothing spectacular, just made of that non-burn material.
Yeah, and you bring up the neck brace, and obviously anybody who watches big-time racing knows about Dale Earnhardt. Mm-hmm. And knows the advances that he brought to the sport, unfortunately, in an untimely death. Now, that neck brace, was that very commonly used prior to that?
That I can't answer for you. I would think so. I would think they had it, but yeah, Dale Earnhardt's there are bad moments in racing. It's just a fact. It's not a sport that is very well, can't say regulated because it is very well regulated, but if I even look at the tag on this, it says auto racing is hazardous. No warranty or representation is made to this product. Any injury or death by the user assumes that risk. Now, it is a dangerous sport. There is problems that can happen. And with Dale Earnhardt, when he hit that wall, he hit at a bad angle.
He hit at a bad angle. His seatbelt malfunctioned. Mm-hmm. His neck obviously snapped.
Yep.
And it led to a lot of safety advances. Now, back to the seatbelt, Ben. What is this? Where do you attach this in the vehicle?
So this one goes to your roll cage. This is your shoulder strap. And this guy right here, this little silver tang, this actually bolts to your roll cage. And then this guy, your waist strap, that will bolt to your race car seat. And they are either steel or plastic, the seats are, that you sit in, and they are very, very tight. They come right around to the side of you here. They come right around the top of your neck, and they hold you in there very, very tight, and they are very, very uncomfortable.
And a lot of them, when you get into the big money, they'll form fit them to you, but in the low levels here, we'd probably buy a stock seat.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yes, sir.
All right. Well, Ben, we appreciate the little tab here on safety. Safety is a big concern when we're out racing these cars. Okay. And we definitely look to be as safe as we possibly can. Ben, thank you again for joining us. You have been watching Track Talking. We have more exciting racing action coming up for you here next on the NLWN-TV.
You've been watching Track Talkin' on NLWN-TV. Coming up next, WISSOTA Racing Action from the Eagle Valley Speedway.
If you love them enough to suck the snot out of their nose at 4 a.m., then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
You've been watching In the Pits with John Fellens. Stay tuned. Coming up next is Racing Action on NLWN-TV.
All right, Monroe, you ready? Monroe. Here we go, the butterfly. Ready? Ooh.
NLWN-TV proudly presents WISSOTA Racing Action from the Eagle Valley Speedway in Jim Falls, Wisconsin. WISSOTA Racing Action is brought to you in part by these Eagle Valley Speedway sponsors. Haas & Sons Incorporated for all your concrete, aggregates, excavation, and trucking needs. Park Ridge Distribution with a complete line of Budweiser products. Goulet's Auto at 401 Bay Street in Chippewa Falls. Collision Center, your auto body professionals in Chippewa Falls. Tim's Automotive Machine of Bloomer for racing engines, machining services, and dyno services. Contact Tim's Automotive Machine in Bloomer. Southwest Chevrolet Buick and GMC, serving the Chippewa Valley for over 60 years from the same Bloomer location. River Country Co-op and Senex stations, a member-owned co-op providing you with a wide range of services and products. Credit King of Chippewa Falls, and they can help you get into a new-to-you car, even if your credit isn't perfect. Rock Auto for all the parts your car will ever need. RockAuto.com. Baxter Engines, serving Eau Claire since 1946. There's virtually no limit to their machining ability. And Baxter Speed Shop and Custom Machine on Center Road in Dorchester. Express Disposal. For residential or commercial service, trust Express Disposal of Thorpe. Arch Snowmobile and ATV of Cornell, your headquarters in the area for new, used parts, along with accessories for all your trail and racing needs. Clearview Auto Glass in Bloomer. For all your glass and auto glass needs, look no further than Clearview Auto Glass in Bloomer. The Edge on Lake WISSOTA, large dining area, outdoor deck and patio, private boat slips. Sounds like dinner time at the Edge. Northwest Coin and Machine Company in Bloomer, your specialist in coin-operated amusement machines. Mitch Shackleton of Chippewa Heavy Haul, 2252 Olson Drive in Chippewa Falls. JP Mechanical Plumbing and Heating of Oliva, residential or commercial plumbing and heating services for the Chippewa Valley. Dan Hindle Electric, your source for electronic equipment and supplies in Abbotsford. Jayco Plumbing and Heating, 800 West Business 29 in Abbotsford. And Union Trailer and Power Equipment of Chippewa Falls. Whether it's lawnmowers up to tractors and implements, Union Trailer and Power Equipment has it for you. And now, out to the track for WISSOTA Racing Action.
Good evening and welcome to the Eagle Valley Speedway here in Chippewa, Wisconsin. John Fellons alongside Rick Olson tonight. We are here at the 19th annual Lonnie Lou Memorial presented by Cruz Towing and Lisa Lou. Tonight we're going to have the street stocks, Midwest mods, beer stocks, super stocks, WISSOTA mods, and we're going to wrap it all up with the Hornet. We're going to have all of that racing action right after this pit stop. No, we're not going to stop just yet. We got to get as much in as we can tonight before we get a natural light show. We have 3 questions coming from the left, and as long as it rolls out, we're going to roll out. How about it? We like racing. Yes, we like racing. And actually, in all honesty, you're watching this on Monday night. You know that Friday night we have some crazy weather coming in from the Twin Cities area, so as we're doing this, we don't know how long things are going to hold out, but we're going to stick to the bitter end, and that's what we're going to do. So, I'll tell you what, while we're getting back to the hot lap, why don't we take a pit stop? So you're watching WISSOTA Racing Action on NLWN-TV.
When the world feels stuck at home, there are people who would love nothing more than to have a home. Disasters don't stop during a pandemic. Together, we continue to give help and hope to those in need. Help now at redcross.org.
That's for the playing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched so gallantly streaming, and the against red glare, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that a flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
And John Fellins and Rick Olson back here. Another beautiful rendition of the national anthem. You've got what I suspect to be a few friends of Lonnie Lou taking a trip around the track in honor of Lonnie.
What number do you think he drove, John?
You know, honestly, I don't know.
Look at the cars, John. What number do you think maybe Lonnie Lou might have driven?
I'm suspecting 14.
I suspect, and I don't know one way or the other, but of the 4 cars making the trip around the track, three of them were 14s.
And the other one is Shane Halupka in the 3 Junior there. As Rick has to lean over and check in. He did not catch that as they were doing the...
Yeah, I did see it was a 3. I was thinking possibly it was 3R.
No, that's Mr. Halupka. And fans, you missed track owner Jerry trying to do a spray down of the track here, going around these cars as they were setting up to do the national anthem. He took out a little bit of the catch fence. It looked like it was some reserve fencing there. There's no damage to the fencing that's currently up. We're going to keep racing as normal. They had to clean up the little bit of catch fence there that was taken down.
And we're going to have some street stock action for you coming up in just a minute or so. Once they have finished prepping the track, the street stocks are heading over into the staging area, and we'll be back with the lineups with that. But before we do, John, you've been complaining about your car. What's going on there?
Hey, is your check engine light on? Call First Choice Mobile Repair to take care of that problem. 715-559-5219. That's First Choice Mobile Repairs, and they make house calls.
So let's get the street stock lineups right after this brief pit stop. You're watching WISSOTA Racing Action on NLWN-TV.
Honorary Forest Ranger Betty White here, lending a hand to my dear friend Smokey Bear, because for 75 years, he's only said,
Only you can prevent wildfires.
but there's a lot more to say. Like, if you park your car on tall, dry grass, the hot exhaust pipe can start a wildfire. So keep the animals safe, especially the cute shirtless one. Go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
Welcome back here to the Eagle Valley Speedway. We've got our first of 2 heats here for the street stock. Starting on the pole for heat number 1 is the 26T of Sam Fankhauser. Starting second is number 7 out of Bruce, Wisconsin, Caden Engel. Starting in third position is Parker Anderson out of Phillips, Wisconsin in the 2017. Starting in fourth is Adam Saltis out of Ladysmith, Wisconsin in the 9. In fifth is Travis Lowe out of Barron in car 40. In sixth is going to be Cody Coomer in the 12 out of Medford. And rounding out the field is going to be the 2D of Dalton Hazelton. These cars are getting the 1 to go already.
And John, do you have a number 54 in there?
I do not.
Well, let me see if I can find that for you here. And let's see.
Just give me a name.
And you know what? I don't see it on this list either.
You know, he's actually supposed to be in the second heat race. And they are telling him to get off the track.
Oh, yeah, there he is, Scott Davis.
Yeah, they're telling him, you're not in this heat race. You need to pull off.
Well, no wonder we were confused. So was he.
Brownie certainly wasn't confused, and we're going to send it over to Scott Teeves.
By Krug Towing and Lisa Liu. Sam Fankhauser inside of row 1. Caden Engel to the outside. Parker Anderson and Adam Saltis. Travis Lowe, Cody Coomer, Dalton Hazelton, green flag waving. Sam Fankhauser going to jump out front early, going to bring Parker Anderson along. How about Cody Coomer? Keep an eye on the 12. Coomer started outside of row 3, trying to get to the front in a hurry. Coomer working to the outside now with Parker Anderson. 4-time winner, Cody Coomer's got it going on. Keep an eye on the 12. Coomer going to drive to the outside of Sam Fankhauser as they race down the front straightaway. Fankhauser, Coomer, Parker Anderson, Adam Saltis, Travis Lowe, Caden Engel, and Dalton Hazelton. Sam Fankhauser trying to hang on. Cody Coomer looking for an opening. Parker Anderson going to dive to the inside of Fankhauser, going to bring Coomer along with Saltis in the 9. Parker Anderson, Cody Coomer. Saltis now to 3rd. Great battle out front. Cody Coomer, Parker Anderson. Neither driver has won the Lonnie Lou Memorial, and they'd love nothing more than to park it down in the Haas Incorporated victory lane, this time by white flag waving one more time for Parker Anderson. Parker Anderson down the back straightaway. Cody Coomer off the pace in the 12. Not sure what happened to Coomer. Travis Lowe will drive by, as will Saltis. And off at turn 4, checkered flag waving for Parker Anderson.
Adam Saltis bringing up 3rd place, followed by Travis Lowe in 2nd. And your winner in the 27P, Parker Anderson. And we're not exactly sure what happened to Cody Coomer there at the end. He just pulled through the infield.
With half a lap to go. And all of a sudden he was off the pace and dropping back. He ended up taking last in the heat. And boy, oh boy, Parker Anderson had his hands full while Coomer was there. Coomer made some moves in that heat that reminded me of his car being the size of a Hornet trying to sneak in through there, because he was putting that car in places where there wasn't room enough to put that car. And now Cody Coomer needs to push off the track, it looks like. Something happened to that car. Hopefully they can get it fixed for the feature.
Yeah, absolutely, as he's in a race. Rick, there's 2 races left after tonight for the championship, the track championship.
Well, now, John, they've got the 2nd heat out on the track. Why don't you line us up for that one?
Uno momento, sir.
That should be Jared Linder. The Linder's outside of the Spencer, the Davis Motorsports 54. That should be Scott Davis.
Starting on the pole of this feature is going to be the 45 of CJ Wagner out of Rice Lake. In 2nd will be the 3R of Danny Richards out of Mondovi. In third will be Michael Tuma out of Weyerhaeuser in the T20. In fourth will be Andrew Hansen from Iron River in the 20. Starting in fifth is Jared Linder from Greenwood in the 3J. In sixth will be Scott Davis in that 54 out of Spencer, Wisconsin. And rounding out the field will be the 1R of Cole Richards. These guys are getting lined up. Brownie is giving them the 2 to go right now. And it looks like they're still getting lined up. And they have the 1 to go, so we're going to send it over to Scott Teets.
To the concession stand. Get yourself something to eat, something to drink. Also, Eagle Valley Speedway apparel located inside the concession stand as well. The girls will be making their way through the grandstand selling winning tickets for the 50-50. Make sure you stop them. Don't even have to get out of your seat. They'll come right to you. So here we go. C.J. Wagner, Danny Richards, Mike Tooman, Andrew Hansen, Jared Linder, Scott Davis, Cole Richards. That is your field. Green flag waving. Danny Richards going to jump out front early. C.J. Wagner going to settle into second, but Andrew Hansen is there in the 20. Jared Linder, Cole Richards, Mike Tuma, and Scott Davis. That is your field here very early in Heat 2 as Jared Linder will roll to the top of the speedway, and the caution flag will wave for the 3J with a flat right front tire. So once again, Danny Richards, your defending champion, looking for his 5th in the street stocks. He is a 4-time winner in the street stocks, and he also won in the pure stocks back in 2008. Brother George Richards has 7 Lonnie Lou Memorial titles in the pure stocks to date. So here we go, going to try to get Danny Richards out front by himself in the 3R, green flag flying. Richards, Andrew Hansen. C.J. Wagner setting third. Andrew Hansen has tracked down your race leader, Danny Richards in 3R. Richards started outside of row 1 and has stayed there as he tries to put some distance on Andrew Hansen. Cole Richards will drive to the inside of C.J. Wagner and take over third. Then it's Mike Tuma followed by Scott Davis. Richards, Hansen, Richards, Cole in the 1R. Your first 3. Second and final WISSOTA Street Stock Heat Race of the night. Danny Richards has got it going on again. Danny Richards continues to lead. Andrew Hansen trying to track him down. Cole Richards having a great run after starting inside of the 4th row, setting third. C.J. Wagner, Mike Tuma, and Scott Davis. Andrew Hansen within striking distance of 3-time winner Danny Richards. White flag waving this time by one more time for Danny Richards. Final trip around the Eagle Valley Speedway for Danny Richards, Andrew Hansen, Cole Richards. Your leader into turn 3. Off at turn 4, checkered flag waving high in the air on Krug Towing Night for Danny Richards.
And
Finishing third in that heat was the 1R who started on the tail of the field, Cole Richards. Finishing second was the 20 of Andrew Hansen, and winning that heat race was Danny Richards. That was the Midwest Street Stocks for you. We're going to have the Midwest Mods right after this quick pit stop. You're watching WISSOTA Racing Action on NLWN-TV.
Food, it brings us together, inspires joy, and gives us life. But we can't forget that during this crisis, over 37 million people don't have access to nutritious food. That's 1 in 12 seniors and 1 in 7 children. In fact, millions of kids aren't able to receive a free or reduced price school lunch right now. The good thing is, we can all help. Learn how you can get involved at feedingamerica.org. When we help each other, we nourish ourselves, our families, and our communities.
And we're back here at the Eagle Valley Speedway. We have our first of 3 Midwest Mods heats. Starting on the pole out of New Auburn, Wisconsin is the 1 of Jake Stye. Starting in second is Jason Olson from Augusta and J-Lo. Starting in third is Dylan Gadel out of Chippewa Falls in the 24. Starting in fourth is Dan Larson Jr. out of Eau Claire in the 34 Junior. Starting in fifth is Austin Ellis out of Rice Lake in the 20. Starting in sixth is Chad Selleck out of Marshfield in the 29. As I said, fans, this is our first of 3 heat races. We've got 17 going to the main. And these
6, 6, and 5, that still adds up to 17 the way I learned math.
Yep. And these drivers have gotten the 1 to go. We're going to send it on over to Mr. Teefs.
So the first of 3 for your WISSOTA Midwest Modifieds tonight. Jake Stye, Jason Olson, Dylan Gadel, as I said, got his first career feature win a few weeks ago at the Deer Creek Speedway. Dan Larson Jr., 3-time winner Austin Ellis in the 20. And Chad Selk in the 29, the Marshfield, Wisconsin driver. First of 3 once again for your Midwest Modifieds on Krug Towing Night, green flag waving. Jake Stye going to jump out front early. Dan Larson Jr., Dylan Gadel, Austin Ellis, Chad Selk, and Jason Olson. That is your field here very early in Heat 1 for your Midwest Modifieds. Jake Stye started inside of row 1 and has stayed there. Dan Larson Jr. trying to track him down as Dylan Gadel is going to battle with Austin Ellis. Jake Stye, Dan Larson Jr., Dylan Gadel, Allison Selk. Your running order remains the same. Jake Stye trying to hang on as he continues to work the top of the Eagle Valley Speedway in 1. Jake Stye has got company in Dan Larson Jr. Dylan Gadel is still third. Alice going to have to battle with Chad Selk. White flag waving this time by. 1 to go for Jake Stye. Jake Stye, Dan Larson Jr., Dylan Gadel, your first 3. Off at turn 4, checkered flag waving high in the air on Krug Towing Night for Jake Stye.
And And finishing third in this heat race was the 24 of Dylan Gadel. Finishing second was Dan Larson Jr. in the 34 Junior. And winning the heat race was Jake Stye in the number 1 out of New Auburn. Hey fans, don't forget, 1 week from tonight on August 24th, we'll be right back here with more WISSOTA Racing Action from the Eagle Valley Speedway. It will be our Credit King Friday night racing. Races will be recorded on August 21st, and our broadcast will begin on NLWN-TV at 6 p.m. next Monday night. Also joining us that night is the Upper Midwest Sprint Cars.
That's going to be a lot of fun, John. That's a whole style of racing. That'll be a real treat.
Them boys go, too. All right, in our second heat race, Rick, I'm going to go ahead and give you the honors on this one.
Okay, on the second heat race, in the pole position in car number 4 is Nick Oyette from St. Paul, Minnesota. Derek Haas out of 4th is in car 80. In the third position, Jay Richardson from Spring Valley in car 1. Then Jason Volkovan from Eau Claire in car 31. In car 24, P out of Chippewa Falls. And Shane Halupka out of Greenwood in the 3 Junior.
And these boys have gotten the 1R. We're going to go ahead and hand it back to track announcer Scott Teams.
It's out heat 2 of 3 for your WISSOTA Midwest Modifieds tonight. Nick Ayotte, the St. Paul, Minnesota racer. Derek Haas, Thorpe, Wisconsin racer to the outside, green flag waving. Derek Haas going to jump out front early in the 80 and try and stretch it on last Friday night's winner, Jay Richardson. Shane Halupka going to work to the outside, and then it's Ayotte in the 04. Derek Haas, Jay Richardson, Shane Halupka, Nick Ayotte in the 04, Jason Volkovan and Lou Puzio, that is your field. Derek Haas continues to lead. Jay Richardson trying to go back-to-back in the R1 after winning last Friday night. He is closing on Haas, your leader. Derek Haas has got company and Jay Richardson in the R1. Derek Haas, Jay Richardson, Shane Halupka, your first 3. Richardson looking to the inside of the 80. Jay Richardson trying to steal the show. We got a new leader in R1. This time by white flag waving, 1 to go for Jay Richardson. Final trip down the back straightaway. Richardson and Haas going to decide it. Halupka is still third. Into turn 3, Richardson up the racetrack. Here comes Derek Haas off at turn 4. Your winner will be Jay Richardson.
Finishing third in that heat race is the 3 Junior of Shane Halupka. Finishing second is the 80 of Derek Haas. And winning the heat race with an incredible pass was the R1 of Jay Richardson. Hey fans, you need an electrical diagnosis or repair of your car? First Choice Mobile Repairs, ASC certified mechanics can take care of that. That's 715-559-5219. That's First Choice Mobile Repairs. They make house calls.
Now, John, something you should notice.
When we look into turn 1, and I also noticed it up in turn 3,
the track is getting very rough. They watered it down pretty well, and these cars have really chewed the heck out of turn 1 and turn 3, and some of those drivers are getting a pretty bumpy ride through there. And so, John, we've got that third heat coming up. Why don't you tell us about it?
Yeah, we got 5 drivers on the lineup, starting with Mike Wiedemann out of Marshfield in the 119. Starting in second is Shadow Kitchener out of Arkansas in the 68. In third is Steve Haas from Elk Mound in the 6S. In fourth is Brian Pretzman out of Cadott in the 8. And rounding out this field is the 18S, the rookie Kennedy Swan out of Chippewa Falls.
And they have the one to go. So let's turn it over to Scott Teeves.
So caution lights will be dropping down around the speedway. Mike Widman, Shadow Kitchener, that is your front row. Green flag flying. Third and final Midwest Modified Heat Race of the night. Shadow Kitchener will lead early in the 68. Widman is there in the 119. Then it's Haas, Pretzman, and Kennedy Swan. That is your field. Shadow Kitchener going to try and run away and hide here early. Kitchener started outside of row 1 and has stayed there so far. Shadow Kitchener continues to lead. Mike Widman, second. Caution flag will wave. We've got some debris on the speedway as Kennedy Swan slapped the wall as she drove into turn 1. So caution lights blink on here in Heat 3 for your Midwest Modifieds. 2 WISSOTA Superstock Heat races up right after this one. Once again, thanks for coming out. Thanks for making the Eagle Valley Speedway your Friday night stop for the 19th annual Lonnie Lou Memorial, presented by Brian Krug of Krug Towing and Lisa Lou. As I mentioned, Brian is throwing an extra $100 on all feature winners' paychecks tonight, so thank you very, very much, Brian. So 2 laps have been scored, 6 remain for Shadow Kitchener. Kitchener, Michael Widman, Steve Haas in the 6S, Brian Pretzman in the 8, and Kennedy Swan in the 18S. That is your field. Once again, 2 WISSOTA Superstock Heat races up right after this one. Green flag flying once again. Shadow Kitchener trying to stretch it on Mike Widman. Steve Haas is still 3rd, Kennedy Swan to 4th, and then Brian Pretzman is 5th in the 8. Shadow Kitchener continues to lead. Mike Widman's going to have to battle with the 6S of Steve Haas. Shadow Kitchener just cruising out front. Mike Widman and Steve Haas continue to go at it behind your race leader. Kennedy Swan and Brian Pretzman continue to battle as well. Shadow Kitchener just cruising now in 68. This time by white flag waving one more time for Shadow Kitchener. Kitchener down the back straightaway for the final time. Widman and the 6 of Steve Haas gonna battle behind him. Shadow Kitchener, your leader into turn 3. Off at turn 4, checkered flag waving high in the air for Shadow Kitchener. So that will do it. Third, we'll go to the 6 of Steve Haas, runner-up to the 119 of Mike Widman. And your winner, the Hatchville Holsteins, O'Galley Body Shop, Timberian Bar and Grill, Lamb Ag Services, Hair Hut, Andy Weber Trucking, Maxville Machine, WISSOTA Collision and Customs, Prime Realty, Andy Pelkey, Gunderson Plumbing and Concrete, O'Galley Enterprises, O'Galley Saloon and Grill, Siler's Meats, and Ryle Funeral Home and Cremation Service. Your winner is out of Arkansas in 68, Shadow Kitchener.
As you heard there, Shadow Kitchener getting the win in that heat race. Rick, you and I were talking, and we could not say with 100% certainty, but it certainly looked a little fishy what was going on
in the tail end of that race.
It certainly did. There was definitely one brake check going into third there on the 18S there, got brake checked, and it looked to me like she kind of got put in the wall there in two, but you know what? That has-beens be has-beens. If they got an issue, they will discuss it in the pits. And or potentially make the future very interesting.
Yeah, the only thing that has me a little leery about that is that we got a 13-year-old girl driving that 18 car. But John, we've got the Super Stocks coming up, and we'll have the lineups for that right after this timeout. You're watching WISSOTA Racing Action on NLWN-TV.
Hey! Okay.
If you love me enough to tolerate my perfect little pets and all their glorious dander, then of course you'll visit nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat to make sure I'm in the right car seat.
We're back here at the Eagle Valley Speedway. We have 2 heat races for our Super Stocks. Starting on the pole in our first heat race is Tony Faulkner in the 27 out of Menominee, Jason Rudzinski out of Oak Ridge, 207, Chad Johnson out of Colfax in the 25, Eric Olson out of Ladysmith in the 1E, Nick Orvalskich out of Mason in the 21F, Tommy Richards out of Mondovi in the 7R, Doug Koski out of Chisholm, Minnesota in the 76, and Kurt Myers out of Cameron in the 1M. And we got the one to go, so we're going to send it over to Scott Teves.
Green flag flying high above the Eagle Valley Speedway. Tony Faulkner going to try and lead lap 1 in the F27, and he will. Radetsky is there along with Oreskovich and Olson. Tony Faulkner, Jesse Radetsky, Nick Oreskovich, your first 3. Olson and Myers will battle behind him along with Tommy Richards. This is a very, very good heat race here in Heat 1 for your Super Stocks. Faulkner up the racetrack. Radetsky and Oreskovich going to look to the inside. And here comes Myers working the top in 1M. Olson going to battle with Tommy Richards in the 7R. Faulkner, Oreskovich, Radetsky, Myers, Olson, your first 5. Tony Faulkner trying to hang. Oreskovich looking for an opening along with Radetsky. Myers is still fourth, and it's Olson, Richards, Koski, and Johnson. That is your field. Nick Oreskovich to the inside of Faulkner. We got a new leader in Mason, Wisconsin's Nick Oreskovich. Myers keeps working the top. Keep an eye on the 1M. Look at Faulkner getting loose. Tony Faulkner getting loose as he looked to the inside. And Jesse Radetsky was there. Radetsky doing a great job to avoid the spinning F27. And we are under caution here in Heat 1 for your Super Stocks.
Music. All right, let's go. I love the country. The Valley's country leader, B95.
what an interesting battle for the lead there. And one thing that Scott wasn't mentioning is how Kurt Myers there was catching up to that race for the lead. You had about a 5-car blanket that you could put over that lead right there. And
any one of them could have been in a position. And that's going to put Myers in the outside of that second row because they have the Delaware restart with the leading car out front. And then Myers is in the outside of row number 2 as they come by our camera shot right now.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what you hope to get out of racing here. Well, they have the one to go. Let's send it back to Scott Teefs here.
So 5 laps have been scored, 3 to go for Mason, Wisconsin's Nick Oreskovich. Jesse Radetsky inside of the second row, Kurt Myers to the outside, Olson and Richards, Koski and Johnson. And Faulkner charged with a caution to drop to the back of the field. 5 down, 3 to go for Nick O in 21F. Oreskovich gonna jump out front once again. Myers gonna go to the top of the 1M. Tommy Richards looking to the inside of Jesse Radetsky as they battle behind your race leader, Nick Oreskovich. Oreskovich, Myers, Radetsky. Myers started 8th on the field in the 1M. Oreskovich started inside of row 3, this time by white flag waving. 1 to go for Nick Oreskovich. Oreskovich, Myers, Radetsky. Richards and Olson, your first 5. Oreskovich into turn 3. He'll drive off a turn 4, checkered flag waving high above the Eagle Valley Speedway for Nick Oreskovich.
And finishing third in that heat race was the 207 of Jesse Radetsky. That looks like 20 on there. But,
well, I just saw I didn't see the 7. So
yeah, we don't see the 7 on the car, but it's the 207. Finishing second and making a charge was the 1M of Kurt Myers, and winning that was Nick Oreskovich out of Mason in the 21F.
You know, before the night is over, you're going to get how to say that name.
Hey, I had issues saying Halukka to start out.
Hey, we got heat number 2 coming up. Why don't you give us the starting grid on that one? And then we'll take care of any ads that we need to.
Yeah, so starting on the pole here is Willie Johnson Jr. out of Superior in the 18. Starting in second is Leslie Liu out of Medford in the 14X. Starting in third is Thomas Cararbra out of Superior in the 3. In fourth is Austin Workman out of Dallas, Wisconsin in the X Junior. Starting in fifth is Bart Steffen out of Eau Claire in the 2. Starting in sixth is Dylan Liu out of Medford in the 14L. Starting in seventh, rounding out the field is Terrence Basic in the 22T. And fans, they have the 1 to go. We're going to send it back to track announcer Scott Teefs for the call of the race.
So Willie Johnson Jr., Leslie Liu from row 1. Second and final WISSOTA Superstock heat race of the night. 8 laps the distance, green flag flying on Krug Towing night. Austin Workman spinning here on the opening lap in turns 1 and 2, and we'll reset the field here very quickly. Once again, thanks for coming out. 19th Annual Lonnie Liu Memorial brought to you by Lisa Liu and Brian Krug of Krug Towing. As I mentioned, Brian has thrown an extra $100 on all feature winners' paychecks tonight, so big thanks to Brian Krug. So 2 WISSOTA Superstock heat races, 2 WISSOTA Modified heat races, 1 Pure Stock heat race, and followed by 1 Hornet heat race right before the break. Trying to move things along as quickly as possible tonight. So Thomas Caraba charged with the caution. We'll get him to drop to the back of the field. We've crisscrossed the lineup Willie Johnson Jr. in the 18, Leslie Liu in the 14X from row 1. Green flag flying high above the speedway once again. Willie Johnson going to jump out front in a hurry. Austin Workman, Bart Steffen going to drive in behind him. Here comes Terrence Spacek of the 22T. Willie Johnson Jr. out front. How about the battle behind him? Austin Workman, Bart Steffen, and the 22T of Terrence Spacek. Dylan Liu in the 14L, Leslie Liu in the 14X. In Thomas Caraba, that is your field as Willie Johnson tries to run away and hide. As Spacek will look to the inside of Austin Workman, they'll battle behind your leader, Willie Johnson Jr. Willie Johnson just cruising out front. Terrence Spacek trying to get to him in 22T. Spacek continues to circle the Eagle Valley Speedway side by side with Austin Workman. Johnson, Spacek, Workman, Bart Steffen, Leslie Liu, Dylan Liu, Thomas Caraba, that is your field. White flag waving one more time for Willie Johnson. Johnson, Spacek, Workman, your first three. Willie Johnson into turn 3. Off at turn 4, checkered flag waving high above the Eagle Valley Speedway for Willie Johnson.
Finishing third in that lead race is the ex-junior of Austin Workman. Finishing second all the way from last place is the 22T of Terrence Spacek, and winning the heat race. Starting from the pole and leading every lap was the 18 of Willie Johnson Jr.
Yeah, he really didn't leave much doubt during that race. But there was a heck of a battle going on for second.
Yeah, they ran the race there, the entire race. And it was entertaining to say the least.
Lots of entertainment out here at Eagle Valley Speedway.
Fans, we've told you before, we'll tell you again, if you ain't been out here to the Eagle Valley Speedway, make your way out here and check it out. Hey fans, your car need a jump start? First Choice Mobile Repair will take care of the problem. 715-559-5219. First Choice Mobile Repairs makes house calls.
And let's see, what do we have coming up next, John?
Coming up next should be the Pure Stocks.
So, while we're waiting for the Pure Stocks to come down on the track, let's take this pit stop ourselves. You're watching WISSOTA Racing Action on NLWN-TV.
Oh, sweetie. Okay, you know what? Let's take off his sweatshirt. Get rid of pictures of him. You don't have to look at him. Goodbye, Dave.
Mom, you don't understand. He's tagged in like 400 of my posts.
I can cut out tags.
No, that's not how it works.
What is a tag?
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care would love to share their first with you.
And we're back here at the Eagle Valley Speedway, and we have a little bit of confusion as we were expecting the Pure Stock feature race. I do not have the lineup up currently for this WISSOTA heat race, so I'll send it right over to Scott Dietz as we have the one to go already.
Zach Drews, that is your front row. 8 laps to distance, green flag flying high above the speedway. Sam Fankhauser, Zach Drews going to jump out front. Paul Nisnik, Steve Hallquist, Richardson, Hartung, Ayotte, and the 13 of Kaler to follow. Sam Fankhauser going to lead early in the 11. Zach Drews going to look to the middle of the speedway, then it's Nisnik, Hartung, and Hallquist trying to make their way through the field. Sam Fankhauser's got company and Zach Drews in the 0. Nisnik still third, then it's Hallquist in the 05 of Jake Hartung. Zach Drews now your new leader as they go door to door down the back straightaway. Fankhauser working the bottom. Zach Drews upstairs, still side by side. Zach Drews, Sam Fankhauser going at it here in Heat 1 for your modifieds tonight. Zach Drews, Sam Fankhauser continue to circle the Eagle Valley Speedway side by side. Then it's Hallquist and Nisnik, white flag waving this time by. 1 to go for Zach Drews. Final trip down the back straightaway. Zach Drews with the advantage. Fankhauser will settle into second. Keep an eye on that battle for third. Off at turn 4, checkered flag waving high in the air for Zach Drews.
Finishing third in that heat race was Paul Nisnik out of Medford in the 42 with a clean pass there on the final lap. Finishing second was the number 11 of Sam Fankhauser out of Rice Lake, and finishing first was Zach Drews out of Superior in the 0.
And don't forget, folks, tomorrow night, our next Equestrian Games event is going to be aired right here on NLWN-TV. That's right, on August 11th. That's tomorrow. We're going to be broadcasting Open Equestrian Games from the Bit and Spur Saddle Club in Eau Claire. It was recorded yesterday. And once again, that's Open Equestrian Games from the Bit and Spur Saddle Club in Eau Claire tomorrow night. August 18th, that starts at 6 o'clock right here on NLWN-TV. Our cameraman Dan is going to be there. He's going to be our color commentator. Hopefully they don't make him do double duty and sit in the tower again. And he's nodding probably, and I'm going to kidnap him and not let them do that. And I don't know, are you going to be there, John?
To be determined at this point.
Well, I kind of hope you are, because it's kind of hard for me to do it. Run the camera and switch the thing all at the same time. All right, next heat, John. Tell us who's in it.
All right, starting on the pole is Donnie Walthall out of Minnesota in the 1L. Starting in second is the number 93 of Mike Knops out of Chippewa Falls. Starting in third is Dave Kane out of Concordian, Minnesota in the 2C. Starting in fourth is Tony Schilly out of Oakdale, Minnesota in the 8S. Starting in fifth is Mike Anderson in the 57 out of Jim Falls. Starting in sixth is Zach Gibson out of Chippewa Falls in 38. Starting in seventh is Dakota Smith out of Chippewa Falls in the 8. And rounding out the field is Michael Trescott in the 22T.
Donnie Lofdahl and Mike Knops from row 1. Dave Kane and Tony Schill. Mike Anderson to Zach Gibson. Dakota Smith and Michael Trescott. Dakota Smith not making the call here in Heat 2. Mike Knops will lead early. Tony Schill trying to hold off Donnie Loftout. Dave Kane searching the Eagle Valley Speedway. Keep an eye on Kane at 2C, going to work upstairs. Mike Knops continues to lead in the 93. Tony Schill still second. Kane now to third. Then it's Mike Anderson and Michael Truscott. Knops, Kane, Schill, Anderson, and Truscott continue to battle. Donnie Lofdahl and Zach Gibson, that is your field. Mike Knops continues to lead. Dave Kane now to second. Schill going to have to battle with Michael Truscott, and then it's Mike Anderson in the 57. Dave Kane, Michael Truscott going to try and track down the 93 of Mike Knops, white flag waving. Mike Knops started outside of row one and has stayed there, but here comes Michael Truscott. Your leader into turn three. Off at turn four, checkered flag waving high in the air for Mike Knops in 93.
And finishing third in that heat race was Dave Kane. How do you say that town name there, Rick?
I believe that's Corcoran, Minnesota.
Excuse me, as that is a whole lot of letters to get that out into 2C.
And the only reason I knew that one is I had a student whose last name was Corcoran, and it was spelled the same way.
All right, finishing second, it was 22T of Michael Truscott. And finishing third winning was Mike Knops in the 93.3. Excuse me, I'm confused as I'm watching the Pure Stocks roll out on the track. So
they've got the order a little strange tonight.
Yeah, so we'll have the Pure Stock feature heat race right after this quick pit stop. You're watching WISSOTA Racing Action on NLWN-TV.
Anytime they're playing music downstairs, it's loud. I go downstairs, see what they're doing, see what music they're doing, see what they're dancing to. I go play piano downstairs, they come get involved. Leah has a drum set beside it, banging that. Any music, that's what they do.
And we're back here at the Eagle Valley Speedway in Jim Falls, and we've got the two to go coming. Michael Grover.
One to go.
We got the one to go. Michael Grover, Nick Samosiak, Mike Schneider, Ryan Olson, Nicholas Hazelton, Travis Hazelton, George Richards, Carl Knops, and James Ron will round out the field, and we're going to send it over to track announcer Scott Teeft for the call of this heat race.
Should be Carl Knops. Final starter on the field, he calls Hagen, Wisconsin home. Sitting in the KB personalized engraving. Cross-country towing at 357 guns and 23R. That should beat James Ron. So one Pure Stock heat race tonight. One Hornet heat race up right after this one. Mike Grover, Nate Zamoniak from row one. Mike Schneider going to drive to the outside of Mike Grover. They'll go door to door down the back straightaway. We will be crowning a new Lonnie Lou Memorial Champion in the Pure Stocks as last year's winner Cody Sinful not back with us. And George Richards tries to win the Lonnie Lou for the 8th time this year, or 8th time in his career. Mike Schneider, your leader. Hazelton to second. Then it's Grover, Ryan Olson, Nate Zamoniak. Look out in the back straightaway. We got them bunched up. Nicholas Hazelton facing the wrong way, and the caution flag will wave. So Mike Schneider, the 7-time feature winner out front. Travis Hazelton, also a 7-time winner in the 31. Mike Grover, Ryan Olson, George Richards in that 5R. As I mentioned, Richards is a 4-time winner, and he tries to become an 8-time Lonnie Lou Memorial Champion tonight. So 2 laps have been scored, 6 remain for Mike Schneider. Schneider, Grover, Hazelton, Olson, Zamoniak, Hazelton, Richards, Ron, and the 92 of Carl Knapp's charged with the caution. He'll drop to the back of the field, green flag waving. Caution here once again, this time for the 31 of Travis Hazelton. So Travis Hazelton spinning, some serious problems on the left front of the 31. So we're under caution here very early in our 1 pure stock heat race tonight.
And Travis Hazelton lost an axle, it looks like, or actually that more looks like a control arm, Rick.
Or a tie rod or something up front there.
Yeah, and hopefully he's got parts sitting in his trailer. I mean, if it's something quick and easy, he might be able to get it repaired, but he's got the window net down and he's waiting for a tow. He is done in this heat race. He got cut off right off the start. He tried to go to the outside, took a nosedive into the corner, got pushed down into essentially the rumble strips there where the tires are. If you look down in turns 1 and 2, yeah, and you see that curb there, and he hit that curb, and that just knocked the entire front off. And that's why we have Travis Hazelton sitting there getting a tow right now. Thank you to our awesome cameraman Dan there giving me a shot of that. And we have a red flag on the speedway right now. And I'll take a minute to note that Travis Hazelton leads the state points in WISSOTA Racing. And this could definitely have a dramatic effect on that, as well as his point standing right here at Eagle Valley.
It very well could, but you know what? Travis Hazelton has some problems with his car. Who does he need to call?
Well, Rick, I think he needs to give Ben Zabel over there at First Choice Mobile Repairs a call.
And he should. He should give Ben a call, and because Ben makes house calls. And, you know, the track is a second home to a lot of people, so maybe that'll qualify.
Former Hornet driver out here, Ben Zabel, might like to make a house call out here. And so they're going to get Travis hooked up. They're going to get a
number, by the way, if you have problems with your vehicle and need to give First Choice Mobile Repair a call, 715-559-5219. That's 715-559-5219. And that'll get a hold of First Choice Mobile Repair.
And as I was saying that Travis Hazelton is leading the points, he only has a 26-point lead over George Richards, and George is here tonight. So if Travis does not race in the heat or in the feature, George will take.
Probably he'll take over the lead if he ends up winning or finishing
all
really
he has
well.
to do is start if Travis doesn't start.
Probably.
That would leave 8 drivers. That would put George at about 80 points, finishing last.
Well, we'll just have to wait and see what happens with that. And of course, we'll have that for you on In the Pits with John Fellens
Next
one
week.
week from tonight. He'll have all that information for you. But now they have them moving. And I think they were given the one to go as they started moving. So why don't we turn it over to Scott Teves?
Carl Knops, that is your field. 2 laps have been scored, 6 remain. Mike Schneider, the Cameron, Wisconsin racer, trying to pick up his 8th feature win of the year and trying to win the Lonnie Lou for the first time in his career, getting set to do it again. One Hornet heat race up right after this one, green flag waving. Mike Schneider trying to stretch it early on Ryan Olson in the 1. Schneider, Olson, Nicholas Hazelton, James Ron, Carl Knops, Mike Grover, George Richards, and Nate Simoniak. That is your field. Mike Schneider rolling right through the middle of the Eagle Valley Speedway, your leader at 7. Mike Schneider continues to lead. Ryan Olson having a great run in the 1. Hazelton and James Ron will battle. Ron started inside of row 5 of the 23R. Mike Schneider, Ryan Olson, James Ron. How about that battle for 4th? George Richards, Carl Knops, and Nicholas Hazelton. Laps winding down now for Mike Schneider at 7. This time by, white flag waving one more time for Mike Schneider at 7. Mike Schneider just cruising out front. Ryan Olson's got company of James Ron and George Richards. Your leader into turn 3. Off at turn 4 on Krug Towing. Not your winner at 7, Mike Schneider. So there you have it.
And finishing 3rd in this heat race was the 23R of James Ron from the rear of the field. Finishing 2nd from this 4th place starting position was rookie Ryan Olson out of Ladysmith in the 1. And winning from the 3rd place starting position, Mike Schneider out of Cameron, Wisconsin in the 7. And as we mentioned, Travis Hazelton having very serious issues in this heat race. Well, Rick, we're going to have the Hornets coming up here in just a minute. We're going to take a quick pit stop. You're watching WISSOTA Racing Action on NLWN-TV.
This is Jaina, Into the Future. Do you remember back when I was in 7th grade? Anything that I would do, she would make fun of me, she would laugh at me, she would talk to her friends and whisper. I grew up to be more independent and love myself and just be a little bit more confident.
Aw, I'm like a little tearing up right now.
Oh, and we're back here at the Eagle Valley Speedway. We have the Hornets coming on the track. We actually have a pure stock still on the track, actually on fire underneath the hood. As our awesome cameraman here rushes to get a view of it, and then the camera loses focus. And where we thought we were going to get the one to go here pretty quick, I think it might be a minute yet. That car is up in a blaze, and I'm sure the driver of that
Did
vehicle...
anybody bring the marshmallows? Is the real question.
Let me go back to...
We're having a discussion about that down there. Were you supposed to bring those today, John?
I don't think I was supposed to.
Yeah, it must have been Dan. I'm sure it was Dan.
Mosiak is how he pronounces the name, and they put the fire extinguisher to it. He's going to have to make a trip to the pit area and get that car checked out, and hopefully that was just a fuel fire and none of the electrical got ruined on it.
Sure didn't take them very long to get that taken care of.
No.
They do have all the equipment here to take care of everything. They did red flag the warm-up laps as well.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and give you the lineup here for this Hornet Heat Races. I suspect they're going to get going right away once they do. Starting on the pole is Craig Oasis out of Altoona, Wisconsin in the 82. Starting in second is Jason Junker out of Stanley in the 36. Starting in third is the rookie Jocelyn Carruthers out of Durand in the 4. Starting in fourth is Randy Wiederholt out of Rice Lake in the 7W. Starting in fifth is Derek Crumry, the points leader out of Eau Claire in the 33. Starting in sixth is the 221 of Danny Halterman out of Stanley. And starting in seventh is Chad Halterman in the X7 out of Stanley.
So watch out for Danny Halterman.
And watch out for Derek Crumry.
Yep, that is the regular battle. And there have been a couple other people challenging the last few weeks. So this could be real interesting. All right, they're waiting to get the green flag, so let's turn it over to Scott.
Chad Halterman from the back of the field in the 7, getting set to do it 8 laps, green flag flying. Jason Junker going to jump out front early in the 36. Great battle behind him, Derek Crumry. Jocelyn Carruthers trying to make their way to the front. Jason Junker continues to lead. Jason Junker trying to run away and hide. Jocelyn Carruthers in the 4, going to battle with Derek Crumry. Danny Halterman, the 221. Wiederholt in the 7W. Frank Owens and Chad Halterman. Jason Junker's got it going on again tonight as he continues to stretch it up. Derek Crumry and Jocelyn Carruthers. Winding down for Jason Junker in 36. Crumry in the 33, Carruthers in the 4, your first 3. Be crowning a new champion tonight as back-to-back winner Jake Halterman now with us. White flag waving this time by for Jason Junker in 36. Junker, Crumry, Carruthers, your first 3. Checkered flag waving this time by on Brian Krug towing night for Jason Junker in 36.
And finishing third is the 4 of Jocelyn Carruthers. Finishing second is the 33 of Derek Crumry. And winning the heat race from his second place starting position is Jason Junker in the 36. Derek Crumry had well, let's just say he might need a new racing suit after that little scrimmage there going into turn 2 there on the first lap.
Well, I'll tell you what, that was a pretty good battle for second place through most of that race. Jocelyn Carruthers held her own there and kept things going, and you know, I'm seeing improvement out of her every week.
Absolutely, but experience reigns king out here on the track as Crumry took a nosedive to the bottom and got that position, but he really didn't pull away from her at all.
No, And John, they're going to have a bit of an intermission here, and so we're going to take one as well. And we're going to be back with features. It looks like the weather, knock on wood, is going to hold for us. And we're going to get some of the features in anyway. And we'll be back right after this intermission. You're watching WISSOTA Racing Action on NLWN-TV.
WISSOTA Racing Action is brought to you in part by these Eagle Valley Speedway sponsors. Haas & Sons Incorporated for all your concrete, aggregates, excavation, and trucking needs. Park Ridge Distribution with a complete line of Budweiser products. Goulet's Auto at 401 Bay Street in Chippewa Falls. Collision Center, your auto body professionals in Chippewa Falls. Tim's Automotive Machine of Bloomer for racing engines, machining services, and dyno services. Contact Tim's Automotive Machine in Bloomer. Southwest Chevrolet Buick GMC, serving the Chippewa Valley for over 60 years from the same Bloomer location. River Country Co-op and Senex Stations, a member-owned co-op providing you with a wide range of services and products. Credit King of Chippewa Falls, and they can help you get into a new-to-you car, even if your credit isn't perfect. Rock Auto for all the parts your car will ever need, rockauto.com. Baxter Engines, serving Eau Claire since 1946. There's virtually no limit to their machining ability. And Baxter Speed Shop and Custom Machine on Center Road in Dorchester. Express Disposal. For residential or commercial service, trust Express Disposal of Thorpe. Arts Snowmobile and ATV of Cornell, your headquarters in the area for new, used parts, along with accessories for all your trail and racing needs. Clearview Auto Glass in Bloomer. For all your glass and auto glass needs, look no further than Clearview Auto Glass in Bloomer. The Edge on Lake WISSOTA, large dining area, outdoor deck and patio, private boat slips. Sounds like dinner time at the Edge. Northwest Coin and Machine Company in Bloomer, your specialist in coin-operated amusement machines. Mitch Shackleton of Chippewa Heavy Haul, 2252 Olson Drive in Chippewa Falls. JP Mechanical Plumbing and Heating of Oliva, residential or commercial plumbing and heating services for the Chippewa Valley. Dan Hindle Electric, your source for electronic equipment and supplies in Abbotsford. Jayco Plumbing and Heating, 800 West Business 29 in Abbotsford. And Union Trailer and Power Equipment of Chippewa Falls. Whether it's lawnmowers up to tractors and implements, Union Trailer and Power Equipment has it for you. Now, it's intermission at the Eagle Valley Speedway.
Up, hammers always down. If it'll hold together, I'm a right line bound. I hit the road, running wide open, out on the edge of my envelope. The thunder rolls, my wheels are smoking. Too much to lose control. Running wide open. Never in the rear view, but you can't slow down. There's someone right behind you, firing up my blood, burning in my soul. Feel that motor rocking, I'm ready to roll. I hit the road, running wide open, out on the edge of the envelope. Too much to lose control.
Julie was always a voracious reader. She'd carry 2 novels on an airplane because she'd read one on a 3-4 hour ride. And at some point, I began to notice that she would read a page and couldn't remember what she had just read, and she'd have to go back and read it again.
I don't remember much these days after I read, but less does for me, and I love it.
Saltus is still there. Andrew Hansen continues to close in the 20. Great battle out front. Street Stock AMA 19th Annual Lonnie Lou Memorial. Danny Richards now with company and Adam Saltus. Lap traffic in front of your leaders. Richards, Saltus, Andrew Hansen, Cole Richards, Travis Lowe, Coomer, Parker Anderson, Fankhauser and Dalton Hazelton, Jared Linder, Caden Engel, C.J. Wagner and Mike Tuba. That is your field. Scott Davis getting set to go a lap down to the 54.
Danny Richards going to dive underneath the 54 of Davis and put him a lap down as they drive down the back straightaway. Adam Saltus within a car length, white flag waving this time by, 1 to go for Richards. And just like that, caution lights blink on. CJ Wagner, Mike Tuba having some problems over there in turns 1 and 2, and we are under caution here late.
Yeah, John, we were noticing that there were plenty of fluids down on the track, and evidently they're just letting the drivers work it in. They still don't have the 1 to go before they get the restart.
And Rick, you were noticing the weather is getting close to the Jim Falls area, and we're going to keep on running these races until it's here.
Yeah, and actually the really bumpy stuff is still plenty of distance away, but the sky's starting to look pretty threatening in the west.
And we can run in a little bit of rain, but if it starts lightening out, we got to get out.
That's right.
So we got the 1 to go. They're coming around to get the green flag.
Richards once again out front. Saltus and Andrew Hansen in a battle, then it's Travis Lowe in the 40. This time by. Down the back straightaway for the final time. Danny Richards, Adam Saltus, Andrew Hansen. Checkered flag waving for the 4th time this year for Danny Richards. So there you have it.
There you go. Danny Richards with the win in the street stock feature.
Andrew Hansen finishing 3rd, and Adam Saltus out of his 2nd place starting position finishing 2nd.
Well, that's appropriate, isn't it?
Yes, and Danny Richards started on the pole and won off the pole. And so they're going to go ahead and get scaled. They're going to take some pictures down in Victory Lane. We're going to take a quick pit stop real quick, and we'll be back with the WISSOTA Midwest Mods right after this pit stop. You're watching WISSOTA Racing Action on NLWN-TV.
Roll over. Chance high five. All right.
When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover all the things that make them unique.
And your mother and... I am totally a hot person. Right, guys? Thanks for being honest.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love. Adopt pure love at theshelterpetproject.org.
And we're back here at the Eagle Valley Speedway in Jim Falls, Wisconsin. We got the B mods, the Midwest mods starting here. On the pole is the 80 of Derek Haas out of Thorpe, Wisconsin. Starting 2nd is last week's winner, Jay Richardson out of Spring Valley in the R1. Starting 3rd is Dylan Gadel from Chippewa Falls in the 24. Starting 4th is Mike Wiedemann out of Marshfield in the 119. Starting 5th is number 1 out of New Albert, Wisconsin, Jake Stye. Starting 6th is Steve Haas out of Elk Mound in the 6S. Starting 7th is your points leader, Shane Holupka out of Greenwood, Wisconsin in the 3 Junior. Starting in 8th is Dan Larson Jr. out of Eau Claire in the 34 Junior. Starting in 9th is Shadow Kitchener out of Arkansas in the 68. Starting in 10th is Austin Ellis out of Rice Lake in the 20. Starting in 11th is Nick Ayotte out of St. Paul, Minnesota in the 04N. Starting in 12th is going to be Brian Pretzman in the 8. Starting in 13th is Chad Seck out of Marshfield in the 29. Starting in 14th is going to be Jason Vogelman out of Eau Claire in the 31. Starting in 15th is going to be Kennedy Swan in the 18S out of Chippewa Falls. Starting in 16th is Jason Olson out of Augusta and JLo. And rounding out the field in 17th is the 24P of Lou Pizio out of Chippewa Falls. They have the one to go, so we're going to send it right over to Scott Teets for the call of this A-main.
So caution lights dropping down around the Eagle Valley Speedway. Derek Haas, the two-time winner. Jay Richardson, your winner from last Friday night, going from row 1, green flag waving. Caution lights will blink on early. As I believe we got some debris on the front straightaway we'll need to clean up here quickly.
That debris being a race vehicle.
Yeah, that's a big piece of debris out there.
Yeah, given where I sit up here, I could not actually see that vehicle. I don't think Rick could see it either.
I did not see what happened to that vehicle, but the whole rear end of it, well, the sheet metal anyway on the rear end of that vehicle is peeled like a hard-boiled egg.
Yeah. And that's not exactly how you want your race car.
Nor how you want your eggs.
And I haven't mentioned it enough. It's the 19th annual Lonnie Lou Memorial presented by Krug Towing and Lisa Krug. Lisa Lou, excuse me. And
a lot of names to throw in there,
It's
John.
a lot of names. It gets a little bit tongue-twisting. We've had a couple of them this year that have kind of been a hard one to spit out in one sentence, but you get them out and remember the people who have made this WISSOTA Racing Action what it is.
Now, they did not get a lap in, so they should have a complete restart here.
They should, and they're lining up.
Minus whichever car that is, and I can't see what number that is, but he's getting hoisted up and is going to be departing the track.
Yeah, he's gonna join Travis Hazelton on the ride home here, as that is 2 race vehicles down for the night. Obviously, Travis Hazelton driving in the Pure Stocks division, and this is the Midwest Mods. Jay Richardson is stopping here on the front straightaway to talk to Brownie, so be interesting to see what happens.
It is one of the
Holy
hot
smokes.
That's the number 8.
That's the 8 of Brian Pretzman. And that car
you know what? Somebody may have not liked the way he and Kennedy Swan were going at it in the heat race, because his car is really messed up.
That is not normal damage to a vehicle to what we would normally see. And we made mention before.
There's a lot of fluid down there on the track right now as well. That was draining out of the car as they were towing it off into the pits. It looks almost like a river of engine fluids of some type. And they're going to try to work that into the track before they start hitting it at speed.
And folks, we speculate about the Kennedy Swan incident. We're not down there. We don't know what happens. We don't know what the communications in the pit might have been.
But it is an interesting coincidence.
It's a coincidence, and that's all that we are insinuating, is that it's a coincidence. We are not saying that somebody wrecked Haas. We are not saying, or Pretzman. We are not saying that Pretzman intentionally was going after Kennedy Swan, but our jobs as analysts...
And John, of course, nobody would ever do that in racing.
Well, no, they would. But it is our jobs as analysts to speculate what could be going on, so that's what we are doing.
And speaking of what could be going on, they have the one to go, so let's turn it back over to Scott.
Derek Haas, Jay Richardson going to try it once again from row 1. Haas will lead early. Jay Richardson is there in the R1. Haas, Richardson, Dylan Gadel. Shane Holupka to fourth. Michael Whitman is fifth. Derek Haas trying to become a three-time feature winner of the 80. Jay Richardson, Dylan Gadel. Here comes Holupka. Whitman is still fifth, and then it's Shadow Kitchener in the 68. Derek Haas started inside of row 1 and has stayed there in the 80. Jay Richardson, Haas trying to stretch it on Richardson. Holupka now to third, see if he can track down Richardson, who's running second. Dylan Gadel back to fourth. Mike Whitman is still fifth in the 119. Trying to work his way around the lap car of Jason Olson. Jay Richardson will close in the R1, as will Holupka. Derek Haas, Jay Richardson, Shane Holupka, Dylan Gadel. Whitman, Shadow Kitchener, and Ellis battle for fifth. Derek Haas trying to win the Lonnie Lou Memorial for the first time in his career. Jay Richardson now going to have to battle with Shane Holupka, the 3 junior. More lap traffic in front of your leaders. Lou Puzio, the next driver, getting set to go a lap down. Derek Haas, Jay Richardson, Shane Holupka. Richardson up the racetrack. Holupka going to look to the inside of the R1. Derek Haas going to drive to the inside of Lou Puzio and put him a lap down. Richardson continues to battle with Holupka. Then it's Dylan Gadel, Shadow Kitchener, and Austin Ellis. Haas, Jay Richardson, Shane Holupka, Dylan Gadel, Shadow Kitchener, your first 5. Derek Haas hung up in lap traffic once again, trying to work around the 31 of Jason Vokovan. Jay Richardson is still second. Derek Haas continues to run third. Derek Haas once again in lap traffic. White flag waving this time by. 1 to go for Derek Haas. Jay Richardson and Shane Holupka to follow. Derek Haas, final trip down the back straightaway. Your leader into turn 3. He will drive off at turn 4 for the 3rd time this year. Your winner at 80, Derek Haas.
And your top 3 finishing in 3rd in the 3 juniors. Shane Holupka out of Greenwood finishing 2nd. From his 2nd place starting position was Jay Richardson out of Spring Valley. And winning from the pole is the 80 of Derek Haas, as he's going to head down to the Haas Incorporated Victory Lane. And
he's going to get a couple pictures taken there, and of course they won't do a brownie interview today, but
Derek Haas is going to get a victory in his namesake Victory Lane there.
And you know, Derek Haas has had a few brownie interviews, so
yeah, he'll probably want to get out of here before the thunder and lightning starts to hit and the rain starts pouring down. Well, I tell you what, folks, it sounds like Brownie is giving a.
They're just welcoming him to Victory Lane. He'll get his applause and everything, and I don't think Brownie's going to give an interview. He just sets him up for pictures, like they did with the street stocks.
Yeah. Well, with that, folks, we'll take a quick break here,
because we have Superstock A Main coming up
right after this quick pit stop on NLWN-TV.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right, because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign, not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a 4th ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
And we're back here at the Eagle Valley Speedway in Jim Falls, Wisconsin. We have the Super Stock A Main. I almost said Street Stock. We already had that. Rick, why don't you give us a quick lineup here?
Chicken. On the pole in car number 21F is Nick Orskovich. He's out of Mason, Wisconsin. Bart Steffen from Eau Claire is in 2nd position in car number 2. Terrence Spacek from Phillips in 22T is in the 3rd position. In the 4th position, Tommy Richards from Mondovi in 7R. In the 5th position, Austin Workman from Dallas in the XJR. In car 207 from Eau Claire is Jesse Radetsky. In the 7th position, Willie Johnson Jr. out of Superior in 18. The 1M belongs to Kurt Myers. He's from Cameron. Eric Olson from Ladysmith is in the 1E. 14L belongs to Medford's Dylan Liu. Doug Koski from Chisholm is in car 76. Leslie Liu from Medford is in 14X. In car 25 out of Colfax is Chad Johnson. Thomas Caraba from Superior is in car 3. And Tony Faulkner from Menominee in car 27. Take it away, Scott!
Nick Oreskovich will lead lap 1 in the 21F. Tommy Richards going to dive to the inside of Bart Steffen and Terrence Spacek and take over 2nd and set his sights on Nick Oreskovich, your leader. It is then Jesse Radetsky. Willie Johnson Jr. with problems in the 18. He'll roll down into the infield. We will stay green here for Nick Oreskovich. Oreskovich, Richards, Bart Steffen, Terrence Spacek, Myers, and Radetsky. Nick Oreskovich going to try and run away and hide here early as Tommy Richards and Bart Steffen try to track him down. Myers and Spacek go door to door as they battle for fourth. Nick Oreskevich continues to lead. Tommy Richards still second. Myers now going to work on Bart Steffen as they battle for third. Jesse Radetsky battling with Terrence Spacek for position. Here comes Eric Olson in the 1E. Oreskevich started inside of row 1 and has stayed there. The 21F just cruising out front. Nick Oreskevich just cruising out front. Tommy Richards still second. Myers now to third as he battles with Bart Steffen. Steffen back to fourth. Radetsky now fifth. Tommy Richards, Kurt Myers, and the rest of the field trying to track down Mason, Wisconsin's Nick Oreskevich in the 21F. Lap traffic now in front of your race leaders. They drive down the back straightaway. Oreskevich, Richards, Myers, Bart Steffen, Jesse Radetsky, Terrence Spacek. Heavy lap traffic. Look out, Oreskevich looking to the inside of the 14L of Dylan Liu. He'll put him a lap down. Some nervous moments there for Nick Oreskevich trying to get by the 14L of Dylan Liu. Tommy Richards continues to run second. Myers is still third, and the battle continues for fourth. Tommy Richards now working on the 14L of Dylan Liu. Nick Oreskevich just cruising out front. Tommy Richards still second. Myers is third in the 1M. How about the battle for fourth between Bart Steffen and Jesse Radetsky? More lap traffic now in front of your leader, Nick Oreskevich. Richards trying to close in the 7R. Oreskevich, Richards, Myers. More lap traffic for Oreskevich. Nico now going to put the 25 of Chad Johnson a lap down. Austin Workman is in front of Johnson. Nick Oreskevich trying to get by the lap cars of Chad Johnson and Austin Workman. Tommy Richards slowly creeping up in the 7R as Oreskevich is hung up in lap traffic. Debris laying on the front straightaway now as Oreskevich slapped the wall. White flag waving this time by for Nick Oreskevich. Oreskevich trying to get around the lap car of Austin Workman. Tommy Richards is there. They're going to drive down the back straightaway. Oreskevich, Richards, Myers. Into turn 3. Tommy Richards going to dive to the inside. Oreskevich is there. Off at turn 4, your winner will be Nick Oreskevich.
Man, what an incredible finish there, as lap traffic almost cost Nick Orechkovich the win. But he did win. Tommy Richards there in the 7R finishing second. Kurt Myers a mile back. Well, not really a mile. It's 3/8 of a mile track. But in terms of racing, he was a mile back, 3 zip codes later. They're in third in the 1M out of Cameron. Nick Orechkovich is going to head down to the Haas Incorporated Victory Lane. Again, we're not doing interviews tonight.
Trying to get it in before the weather gets here. And I'm not sure if we have the Pure Stocks or the WISSOTA Modifieds coming up next, but I'll tell you what, when we come back from this pit stop, we're going to know. So you're watching WISSOTA Racing Action on NLWN-TV.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look! And we're back here at the Eagle Valley Speedway here in Jim Falls. We have the WISSOTAs jumping ahead of the Pure Stocks right now. Going off of the pole position is Dave Kane out of Concord, Minnesota in 2C. Starting second is Zach Drews out of Superior in the 0. Starting third is Mike Knops out of Chippewa Falls in the 93. Starting fourth is Sam Fankhauser out of Rice Lake in 11. Starting fifth is Tony Schill out of Oakdale, Minnesota in the 8S. Starting sixth is Steve Hallquist out of Eau Claire in the 27H. Starting seventh is Michael Trescott out of Chippewa Falls in the 22T. Medford native Paul Niznik out of in the 42 is 8th. Jake Hartung out of Elmwood, Wisconsin in the 05 is 9th. In 10th is the points leader Mike Anderson out of Jim Falls in the 57. In 11th is Adam Ayute out of St. Paul, Minnesota in the 04 Junior. In 12th is Zach Gibson out of Chippewa Falls in the 38. In 13, in car 13, is Nick Kaler out of Bloomer. 14th is Donnie Lofdahl out of Duluth, Minnesota in the 1L. 15th is Jason Richardson out of Spring Valley in the R2. And 16th is Dakota Smith in the 8.
The central and midwestern U.S. averages more than 850 tornadoes each year, and lately, the number of floods has been rising in the region too. So chances are, there will be more twisters and floods near here again. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are, you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has all the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
Champion in Dave Kane going to be scored, your early leader in the 2C. The Corcoran, Minnesota racer trying to run away and hide from Zach Drews and the rest of the field. Kane, Drews, Knops, Tony Schill, Steve Hallquist, your first 5. Dave Kane started inside of row 1 and has stayed there. Mike Knops trying to track him down. Tony Schill going to dive to the inside of Zach Drews, and they'll battle for third. Then it's Hallquist in the 05 of Jake Hartung, and your defending champion Mike Anderson in the 57. Dave Kane has never won the Lonnie Lou Memorial, and he continues to lead. Mike Knopp still second. Tony Schill is third. Mike Knopp's trying to track down Corcoran, Minnesota's Dave Kane. Tony Schill having a great run now to third in the 8S, and then it's Hallquist in the 27H. Keep an eye on that battle for fifth. Knops, Hallquist now to third. Schill back to fourth. Nisnik in the 05 of Jake Hartung continue to battle. Mike Knops is there. Mike Knops looking for his third of the year. Mike Knops trying to win the Lonnie Lou for the second time in his career. He won it back in 2015 in the Pure Stocks. Dave Kane, Mike Knops, here comes Steve Hallquist. Kane having some problems getting through turns 3 and 4. Knops will close. Dave Kane trying to hang on in the 2C. Knops will look to the outside of the 93. Hallquist closing in the 27H. Dave Kane, Mike Knops putting on a show, and Hallquist trying to join the party. Steve Hallquist is closing in the 27H. Dave Kane started inside of row 1 and has stayed there. Mike Knops now going to look to the inside of the 2C. Knops, Hallquist, Tony Schill, Jake Hartung, keep an eye on the 05, started 9th on the field. Jake Hartung now to 4th, the 05. Making his way to the front, Schill back to 5th, and it's Mike Anderson and Paul Nisnik as Dave Kane continues to try and hold off the 93 of Mike Knops. Dave Kane under heavy pressure from Mike Knops, the 2-time feature winner. Steve Hallquist is still third. Hallquist having a great run. Hartung is 4th. Then it's Tony Schill and Mike Anderson battling. Mike Knops to the outside of Dave Kane. Kane will fight him off down the back straightaway. Here comes Jake Hartung. I'm telling you what, keep an eye on the 05.
Mike Knops, Steve Hallquist, Jake Hartung, Mike Anderson now to 5th in the 57. This time by, white flag waving one more time for Dave Kane, see if he can hang on. Caution lights blink on for Zach Gibson in the 38. Looked like he and Lofdahl got together. We are under caution. And we'll have to see if Dave Kane can hang on. Kane looks like he's having some problems getting through 3 and 4. Knops has taken a look to the inside multiple times. Kane has led every lap so far. Mike Knops, Steve Hallquist, Jake Hartung. First night out of that race car, first night out all year long for the driver of the 05. Started 9th on the field. Mike Anderson, your defending champion of the 57. Anderson trying to win the Lonnie Lou Memorial for the 7th time in his career. Tony Schill and Paul Nisnik. Sam Fankhauser, Zach Drews, Jason Richardson, Donnie Lofdahl. Nick Kaler, Zach Gibson, Zach Drews going to the pit area. His night is over. So caution lights will drop down around the Eagle Valley Speedway. Any Dave Kane fans out there tonight? See if the Corcoran, Minnesota racer can hang on, or will it be Mike Knops or Steve Hallquist, your first 2 rows? Here we go, Dave Kane coming right at you from row 1. Under caution here once again as Mike Knops facing the wrong way on the front straightaway. As I mentioned, Knops trying to win the Lonnie Lou for the first time in the modifieds. He did it back in 2015 in the pure stocks, but coming to a stop on the front straightaway. And a tough break for the 93 has been tagged with the caution. Looked like he hooked a tire coming out of 4 and spun on the front straightaway, so we'll get the 93 refired. Mike will tag on to the back of the field. So Dave Kane and company will get the 1 to go this time by. Green, white, checkered for Dave Kane. 1 to go this time by for Kane, your leader in 2C. Once again, see if Kane can hang on and add another big win to an already great career. So here we go, Dave Kane coming right at you once again from row 1, green flag waving. Kane, Hartung, Hallquist, your first 3. How about Jake Hartung trying to steal the show? He'll drive to the outside. This time by. White flag waving one more time for Dave Kane and Jake Hartung. Kane and Hartung down the back straightaway for the final time. Hartung with the advantage. Into turn 3. Off of turn 4. Are you kidding me? Your winner, Jake Hartung. And what a
And what a finish that was, with Hartung coming out of nowhere on the outside, taking just a monstrous head of steam and passing Dave Kane there for the win, and coming up in third and just running his tail off out of the 10th place starting position was Mike Anderson. Brownie is going to run down and do a quick interview down there in the Haas Incorporated Victory Lane, and so we're going to pass it on along down to Brownie for that interview as Hartung makes his way to the Haas Incorporated Victory Lane with just an incredible victory tonight.
Kane led that race all but the last lap, and he looked like people kept trying. He kept holding him off, and then on the last lap, here came Jake Hartung, and he got the position, and holy cow, there he went.
Yeah.
And we're gonna send it down to Brownie, as he's gonna give him a bit of an interview. We aren't doing many of those tonight because we got weather coming, but
I tell you what, give it up for the 05. This is a man from Spring Valley, Jake Hartung, and guess what? You're getting wet. Yeah! It's raining. Whoa! Here's a towel for you, buddy. Hey, nice job, buddy. That's a heck of a race coming up from where you were. You haven't been here for a while. God, it's great to see you.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. First night out with the win, we'll take that. Jerry's track was awesome tonight. He got her in before the weather. I never would have guessed we were going to do it, but great job.
Well,
I want to say one thing. I bought a car from Jacob quite a few years ago, and I made it all red. Get that red car out of my shop, he said.
Thanks, Jerry.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, it's just great to see you back here at Eagle Valley Speedway. I know that, you know, Jay Richardson won last week with an SSR car. You won tonight with an SSR car. All right, the weather's coming, so anything else you want to add?
No, I just got to thank everybody that helps us out. Thank you.
All right, give it up for Jake Hartung, our feature winner tonight, here in Lonnie Lou tonight. Thanks, guys.
And winning the Lonnie Lou Memorial tonight was Hartung. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with the Pure Stocks, and Travis Hazelton is on the track. You're watching WISSOTA Racing Action on NLWN-TV.
Honey, what I think you need is a socket wrench.
I played JV basketball.
I'm sorry. I don't think it looks right.
This is good, and it's all good, baby.
Is it really all good?
If you love me enough to routinely test your handyman skills, not to mention the strength of your marriage, then of course you'll visit nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat to make sure I'm in the right car seat.
I'm gonna call my dad.
And we're back here for the Pure Stocks A main. I was told by Brownie Travis would not be here, and he's here. So welcome to dirt track racing. He must have found a control arm and got it all put in. Starting on the pole is Nick Shimonziak out of Eau Claire in the 2. Starting
Mike Schneider will lead early. Nicholas Hazelton will roll on into the pit area. His night is over. Schneider, Richards, Ron, Zamoniak, Ryan Olson, your first 5. Travis Hazelton trying to make his way through the field in the 31. Mike Schneider just cruising out front. James Ron going to drive to the inside of George Richards. Richards slow down the back straightaway in the 5R. Mike Schneider continues to lead. Going to try and get the 5R of George Richards to roll down into the infield and we can stay green. He will not, and we are under caution here in our pure stock A main. So just a handful of laps in. Helping out George Richards. See if he can continue on or not. Hornet A main up right after this one. Gonna have to push the 5R once again. So Mike Schneider, James Ron, Ryan Olson, Nate Zamoniak, Mike Grover, and Carl Knops. So 3 laps have been scored for the 7 of Mike Schneider. Looks like George Richards' night has come to an end as he has the assistance of Krug's towing down the back straightaway. So Schneider, Ron, Olson, Zamoniak, Grover, Knops. So Mike Schneider and company will get the one to go this time by. Travis Hazelton back out of the work area in the 31. He'll tag on to the back of the field. So caution lights go out around the speedway. Mike Schneider trying to get his 8th feature win of the year. Or will it be James Ron or Ryan Olson from that second row? 3 laps have been scored and 9 remain for Mike Schneider and 7. Mike Schneider will be your race leader. Ryan Olson is there in the 1. James Ron in the 23R, your first 3. Schneider, Olson, Ron. Carl Knops spinning in the 92. See if he can keep it going. We will stay green. We will not for the 92 of Carl Knops. So we'll get Knops to drop to the back of the field, and we should be about set to go. So 5 laps have been scored, 7 remain for Mike Schneider in the 7. So Mike Schneider looking for win number 8 on the year. Second row remains the same. Ryan Olson and James Ron. Travis Hazelton. Mike Grover, Nate Zamoniak, Carl Knops. Here we go again. Mike Schneider continues to lead, but Ryan Olson is there. Ryan Olson working on Mike Schneider. James Ron in the 23R. Travis Hazelton to 4th, and the battle continues for 5th. Mike Schneider continues to lead. Ryan Olson continues to work on him in the 1. Schneider, Olson, Ron, Hazelton, Knops, Grover, and Zamoniak. That is your field. Mike Schneider trying to open up a few car length lead now on Ryan Olson. Mike Schneider continues to lead. Started outside of row 1 and has led every lap. But the rookie Ryan Olson is there in the 1. Laps winding down for Mike Schneider. Schneider, Olson. Travis Hazelton to the inside of the 23R of James Ron. This time by, white flag waving one more time for Mike Schneider at 7. Final time down the back straightaway from Mike Schneider. Ryan Olson, James Ron, your first 3. Off at turn 4 on Krug's Towing Night, your winner in 7, Mike Schneider.
And the 23 car just edging out Travis Hamilton for 3rd. James Ron finishing 3rd.
Run up to the 1.
Ryan
Olson and in the pro
finishing 2nd. And winning from the 2nd place starting position was Mike Schneider. Folks, Mike Schneider's going to head on down to the Haas Incorporated Victory Lane for some pictures. We're going to be back with you right after this quick pit stop. We're going to get all the racing action in. We've got the Hornets to wrap up the night. We'll be right back with you. You're watching WISSOTA Racing Action on NLWN-TV.
Hey, Dad. I need your help asking Jessica to prom.
Of course. Love is like the ocean. You have to tread the waters.
Dad. That's not the kind of help I needed. Hey, Jessica. Will you go to prom with me?
Yes.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care can't wait to share their first with you.
And we're back here at the Eagle Valley Speedway. We've got the Hornets coming up. They've got the 1 to go. We're going to send it right to Scott Teves.
Andy Wiederholt, Craig Owens, that is your field. 12 laps, green flag flying. Randy Wiederholt getting into the front straightaway wall. And we are under caution here. So Randy Wiederholt's night coming to an end. Crew's towing, helping him back to his pit area. We're going to roll him around one more time, and we should be about set to go. Be crowning a new Lonnie Lou Memorial champion in the Hornets as back-to-back winner Jake Halterman not with us tonight. So trying to get some clay up on all this fluid laying on the racetrack. Roll them through it a couple times and we should be about set to go. Thanks for spending your Friday night here at the Eagle Valley Speedway. Big thanks to Lisa Lou and Brian Krug of Krug's Towing. Brian, as I've mentioned all night long, threw an additional $100 on all feature winners tonight.
Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why did the girl ask the mushroom to dance? Because he was a fun guy. What do you call a pig that knows karate? Pork chop. So how does a tissue dance? Put a little boogie on it.
Lights will drop down around the speedway, about set to do it here. Going to crown our Lonnie Lou Memorial Hornet champion, Chad Halterman, Danny Halterman from row one, green flag waving. Derek Crumry going to jump to the outside of Chad Halterman as they race down the back straightaway. Chad Halterman, Derek Crumry going door to door as they circle the Eagle Valley Speedway. Crumry, Halterman, Jason Yunker, Jocelyn Carruthers, and Craig Owis. That is your field. Derek Crumry looking for his 5th feature win of the year. He continues to lead. Crumry, Chad Halterman, Danny Halterman, your first 3. Jason Yunker now to 4th, Jocelyn Carruthers, and Craig Owis. Derek Crumry trying to win the Lonnie Lou Memorial for the first time in his career. Derek Crumry cruising out front. Crumry started 4th on the field, jumped out front early, trying to stretch it on Chad Halterman. Jason Yunker now to 3rd. Craig Owis now getting set to go a lap down from your race leader, Derek Crumry, in the 33. Crumry trying to drive into victory lane for the 5th time this year. Halterman and Yunker to follow. Danny Halterman is 4th. Jocelyn Carruthers and Craig Owis, that is your field. Derek Crumry out front and cruising in 33. Jason Yunker setting 3rd in the 36. Chad Halterman 2nd, your race leader, Derek Crumry in the 33. Derek Crumry, Chad Halterman, Jason Yunker, your first 3. Laps winding down now for Derek Crumry. Crumry, Halterman, Yunker, your first 3. This time by white flag waving one more time for Derek Crumry in 33. Down the back straightaway, your race leader, Derek Crumry. He will drive into turn 3. Off at turn 4 for the 5th time this year, your winner at 33, Derek Crumry.
Because of you, I felt hopeless.
I know it was a joke, but it still hurt me.
Because of you, I felt wanted and not alone in this world.
Because you said hi to me on the first day of school, I felt included, and I knew that I was going to be okay.
You've been watching WISSOTA Racing Action from the Eagle Valley Speedway in Jim Falls, Wisconsin on NLWN-TV. WISSOTA Racing Action is brought to you in part by these Eagle Valley Speedway sponsors. Haas & Sons Incorporated for all your concrete, aggregates, excavation, and trucking needs. Park Ridge Distribution with a complete line of Budweiser products. Goulet's Auto at 401 Bay Street in Chippewa Falls. Collision Center, your auto body professionals in Chippewa Falls. Tim's Automotive Machine of Bloomer for racing engines, machining services, and dyno services. Contact Tim's Automotive Machine in Bloomer. Southwest Chevrolet Buick and GMC, serving the Chippewa Valley for over 60 years from the same Bloomer location. River Country Co-op and Senex stations, a member-owned co-op providing you with a wide range of services and products. Credit King of Chippewa Falls, and they can help you get into a new-to-you car, even if your credit isn't perfect. Rock Auto for all the parts your car will ever need, rockauto.com. Baxter Engines, serving Eau Claire since 1946. There's virtually no limit to their machining ability. At Baxter Speed Shop and Custom Machine on Center Road in Dorchester. Express Disposal. For residential or commercial service, trust Express Disposal of Thorpe. Our Snowmobile and ATV of Cornell, your headquarters in the area for new, used parts, along with accessories for all your trail and racing needs. Clearview Auto Glass in Bloomer. For all your glass and auto glass needs, look no further than Clearview Auto Glass in Bloomer. The Edge on Lake WISSOTA, large dining area, outdoor deck and patio, private boat slips. Sounds like dinner time at the Edge. Northwest Coin and Machine Company in Bloomer, your specialist in coin-operated amusement machines. Mitch Shackleton of Chippewa Heavy Haul, 2252 Olson Drive in Chippewa Falls. JP Mechanical Plumbing and Heating of Oliva, residential or commercial plumbing and heating services for the Chippewa Valley. Dan Hindle Electric, your source for electronic equipment and supplies in Abbotsford. Jayco Plumbing and Heating, 800 West Business 29 in Abbotsford. And Union Trailer and Power Equipment of Chippewa Falls. Whether it's lawnmowers up to tractors and implements, Union Trailer and Power Equipment has it for you. Stay tuned. Coming up next is Victory Lane, where we take a look back at today's racing action.
When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover their unique mix of all kinds of traits.
Where'd Wiley go? Where's Wiley? Ah, there she is. Pa?
Do you remember being an ancient wolf? Do you ever feel the call of the wild?
You're a renegade cop, and I'm a con woman with nothing to prove. But together, we could really solve this murder.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but all of them are pure love.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Time now for Victory Lane, where we take a look back at today's racing action. So now, back out to the Speedway and Victory Lane. Welcome back to Eagle Valley Speedway and Victory Lane. We're going to have a very abbreviated Victory Lane because we can see the lightning in the west. We got all the races in before the storms got here, but we want to get everything packed up before we get inundated with storms. And John is busy taking things apart and getting things packed up, and I am going to do a very quick Victory Lane rundown for you tonight. We'll start with the Hornets. They only had one heat of Hornets tonight. In third place was Jocelyn Carruthers from Durand. Second place went to Derek Crummery out of Eau Claire. And first place went to Jason Junker in car 36. Then came the feature race. In the feature race, third place went to Jason Junker. Second place, Chad Halterman from Stanley. And then in first place, Derek Crummery in car 33. In the Midwest Modifieds, we had 3 heats of Midwest Modifieds. In the first heat, third place went to Dylan Gadel from Chippewa Falls. Second place to Dan Larson Jr. out of Eau Claire. And first place in that first heat went to Jake Stye from New Auburn in car number 1. In the second heat, third place went to Shane Holupka out of Greenwood. Derek Haas from Thorpe took second place, and Jay Richardson from Spring Valley in car R1 took first place. In the third heat, Steve Haas from Elk Mound in 6S took third place. Mike Widman from Marshfield took second place, and first place went to Shadow Kitchener out of Arkansas in car number 68. In the Midwest Mods feature, 17 cars started the feature. Third place went to Shane Halupka. Second place to Jay Richardson. And in first place in car number 8, Derek Haas out of Thorpe. In the WISSOTA Modifieds, we had 2 heats. In the first heat, third place went to Steve Hallquist from Eau Claire. Second place, Sam Fankhauser from Rice Lake. And first place went to Zach Drews from Superior in car 0. In the second heat, third place went to Dave Kane. Second place went to Michael Truscott. And in first place from Chippewa Falls in car 93, Mike Knops. Then in the WISSOTA Modifieds feature, third place went to Mike Anderson from Jim Falls. Second place to Dave Kane from Corcoran, Minnesota. And first place went to Jake Hartung out of Elmwood in car 05. That takes us to the Pure Stocks. There was only 1 heat of Pure Stocks. Third place went to James Ron from Haugen. Second place went to Ryan Olson out of Ladysmith. And first place went to Mike Schneider from Cameron in car number 7. In the Pure Stock feature, first place went to, or third place I should say, went to Mike Schneider from Cameron. Second place to Ryan Olson from Ladysmith. And first place in car 23R to James Ron, and he was out of Hagen. In the Street Stocks, we had 2 heats. In the first heat of Street Stocks, third place went to Adam Soltis from Ladysmith. Second place to Travis Lowe from Barron. And first place went to Parker Anderson from Phillips in car 27P. In the second heat, Cole Richards took first place. Andrew Hansen came in second. And then, or check that, Cole Richards had third place, Andrew Hansen second place. And then Danny Richards from Mondovi took first place in car 3R. In the Street Stock feature, third place went to Andrew Hansen. He's out of Iron River, Wisconsin. Second place to Adam Soltis. He's out of Ladysmith. And Danny Richards from Mondovi, car 3R, won the Street Stock feature. And that takes us to the Super Stocks. In the Super Stock heats, there were 2 of them. In the first heat, third place went to Jesse Radetsky from Eau Claire. Second place went to Kurt Myers out of Cameron. And in first place in car 21F, Nick Orskovich from Mason, Wisconsin. In the second heat, Austin Workman took third place. He's from Dallas. Terrence Spacek out of Phillips took second place, and first place went to Willie Johnson Jr. from Superior. In the Superstock feature, third place went to Kurt Myers. Second place went to Tommy Richards out of Mondovi, and first place went to Nick Orskovich from Mason, Wisconsin, car 21F. And that was the racing action at Eagle Valley Speedway tonight. We'll be back next week with more WISSOTA Racing Action, and I'm going to get out of here. This is Rick Olson. Our cameraman's been Dan Petschow. John Fellens has been around. He's been busily packing up stuff so we can get out of here before the storms come. I'm feeling a little bit of rain starting to come, so you all have a safe and happy evening, and we'll see you next week, same place. Good night, everybody. You've been watching Victory Lane with a look back at today's racing action. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.